Hey beautiful, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Chais and I'm a licensed esthetician, and today we're diving into brow tinting. In my previous video, I showed you exactly how I mapped the brows to create the perfect shape. Today we're taking it a step further by adding tint to create a fuller looking, more defined brows. As I work, I'll explain why I choose certain products, how I customize the color, and tips to help you get long-lasting results. If you love skincare, brows, and esthetician work and education, make sure to subscribe because I do post new beauty content every week. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel grow. Now let's get started. Okay, so tip 1, less product is better. One mistake I see beginners make is overloading the brush with product. Using small amounts gives you much more control and helps you prevent the tint from bleeding outside your outline. Tip 2, slow down. Tinting isn't about speed, it's about precision. Taking an extra minute to clean your edges can completely change the final result. Tip 3, brow mapping matters. The mapping is really your blueprint. Once that's done correctly, the tint application becomes much easier because you're simply following the shape you've already created. Tip 4, keep your lines clean. As I'm working, I'm consistently checking my edges. I don't wait until the very end to clean everything up. Small corrections throughout the surfaces are much easier. Less tint starting out is more. Here you'll see me applying the tint and packing it on as much as possible. Tip 5, every brow is different. Don't expect every client to have the same brow shape, the same tint outcome, the same wax outcome. Every client is different. Tip 6, build confidence. If you're a beginner, don't compare yourself to artists who've been doing this for years. Your speed will come with repetition. Focus on creating clean and consistent work. Tip 7, practice makes perfect. The more brows you map and tint, the easier it becomes to see symmetry and know where small adjustments are needed. Tip 8, small details matter. Sometimes the smallest refinements make the biggest difference. A clean front, a crisp tail, and even saturation can really elevate the final result. I can't wait to teach more brow classes like these because I really want to tell other brow artists out there, don't stress about trying to be the best brow artist or trying to be like another brow artist or do brows like another brow artist. The one thing that I can say, someone is going to love how you do brows. Someone is going to love how someone else do brows. Brows are just like art. And art is subjective. It appeals to every person differently. So just because you feel like your work isn't the greatest, someone might feel like your brow work is absolutely beautiful. Take your time and learn the skill. Practice, practice, practice. Ask for models. Try to promote your work as best as you can while being a brow artist. One thing you will always know about this field, you will never stop learning and you will never stop educating yourself. Always, always, always make sure you're taking the time out to educate yourself on what you specialize and offer to your clients. What you become great at, your clients begin to love and they will rebook you every time. I started falling in love with brows when I started doing makeup when I graduated high school. A year after high school, I started doing makeup and I just fell in love with it. And while I was doing makeup, I realized that I started to fall in love with doing brows way more. But I feel like when I started learning to love makeup, brows really just wasn't something that was as popular to really do back in when I was in high school, and I graduated high school in 2012. So I know most people could probably say, well, I was doing permanent brows or I was doing brows back then. Brows have really taken over the beauty industry by storm. A lot of techniques that I didn't know now, that I didn't know back then, they were around, but they weren't really specialized in as I see much brow artists specialize in brows now. In high school, the most I've ever really heard of a brow artist was really going to the nail salon, and there would be someone to wax your brows when you were at the nail salon. But outside of that, I didn't really know anyone that specialized in brows. So my specialty with brows, it just grew along the way, and I'm glad it did, because there was a lane for me. I knew I wanted to do brows for a long time, so just feeling comfortable with falling into a lane that was specially for me, I really felt great about. So basically, just to sum it up, in high school, did I look into a career as a brow artist? No, because I never knew that being a brow artist was a such thing until I became an esthetician, and I really started seeing that brow artists actually do have their own lane. So that was a career that I picked up along the way, not even knowing that it was actually a career. There is a difference between applying tint and removing it in a certain time frame, rather than applying tint, leaving it on in a certain time frame, and then removing as much as possible. Some clients really prefer a natural look. So if they really prefer a natural look, I always make sure that I apply one patch of tint. Depending on the style that they're looking for, if they want something bolder, then I will go in with a longer stain. Alright, so next up is waxing. So I'm not really sure if I have a technique when it comes to waxing. I guess I just have my own method of how I do brows, and pretty much the process in which I do brows. I normally always tint before I wax. I like for my tint to sit while I'm waxing. I also just have to realize that, of course, I have to just move quickly because I don't want my stain to be any darker than either 1 to 2 or maybe 1 to 3, just depending on the client, shades darker. Some clients like a natural tint. Other clients like a more dramatic bold tint because it does last longer. And then also just the dramatic bold tint, sometimes it just makes clients feel like they actually have a brow. Some clients, they may like them natural, and then some clients really like their brows to pop. Now that the tint has been applied and removed, I'm going in with waxing to clean up any unwanted hairs outside of the shape we created during mapping. Since the mapping gave us a clear guide, I'm only removing the hair that falls outside of those lines. This helps with keeping the brows looking clean and polished without taking away too much. Don't rush in this section, but just be mindful that you are tinting. One thing I always remind my clients and beginner artists is that you can always remove more hair, but you can't put it back. I prefer to be conservative with waxing and focus on enhancing the client's natural brow shape rather than creating something completely different. Every client's brow growth is different. Some clients need very little waxing while others have more hair to clean up. My goal is always to work with the client's natural brow and customize the shape to complement their facial features. As I'm waxing, I'm checking the symmetry from different angles and making small adjustments as needed. Sometimes it's the smallest details that make the biggest difference in the final result. And I know you guys heard me say that quite a few times. A common mistake beginners make is trying to remove too much hair at once. I recommend working in small sections and stepping back occasionally to assess the overall shape. It helps prevent overwaxing and keeps the brows balanced. Throughout this video, you will see me move in sections: the top of the brow, the arch, the tail, and underneath. What I also will do is small tiny hairs that the wax may not have gotten, I will pretty much go in and tweeze. Or if I can't tweeze, I will, and there's very rarely a time where I can't tweeze unless the hair is too short, I will go in with the razor. And sometimes if the skin is healthy, I will re-wax that same area once. I never re-wax the same area more than 3 times. I'm sorry, I never wax the area more than 2 times. I'm sorry. 3 times is too much. If the client does not have healthy skin, please do not over wax their brows. They will feel that when they get home. I go back in with aloe to remove any excess tint that I did not get the first time. You want to be sure that you're removing all of the tint off the client's brows. I always keep a razor in the tank. I'm going to always keep a razor in the tank. A razor gives me a more precise cleanup that I need, and it just gives the brows that sharp effect. I just absolutely love a razor. I can say be careful, you guys. When you are using a razor, you can nick your client. I love the cleanup session because I can really see the brows form and come into shape. This is when I am able to play around with my client's brows, you guys. This will always be my favorite part of any brow session that I do. As you can see while I'm concealing, I'm almost finished with the application. In just a moment, you'll see the final reveal, and I love how much more defined the brows look while still keeping a natural finish. I literally had to speed up this video, y'all, because I will upload a video of how I conceal my brows. This is just something I did want to speed up, but I will upload video content on how I conceal the brows once I'm done. Here's the final result. The mapping really helped create a clean foundation, and the tint brought everything together with a more defined, polished look. If you enjoyed watching today's brow transformation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. If there's another brow service you'd like to see me, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, and if you want to see this entire video, start to finish, stay tuned for my next video of brow mapping and tinting.